Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts a lot. It totally didn't do what I wanted it to do. I thought it saved it. Ow. Silly, silly thing. Oh well. What do you do? What do you do? Oh well. Um, at least everything seems to be working properly this morning, which is great. So I am pretty excited about that. I do have, I have to admit, I do have quite the splitting headache. Let's see if this one works. Ah, there we go. It's working now. So morning coffee with Rob. Good morning, world, or afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be. Um, Good morning to you as well, there, Luke. I am actually getting off to somewhat of a decent start this morning. Like the last few times where I've had ample amounts of computer and tech issues. So I'm pretty stoked on the fact that everything is actually getting up and going pretty quickly and easily, which is pretty fantastic. I'm also trying out something a little bit differently, as some of you may see as well. I am again working with this Manny Cam, but I'm using it on my Mac this time to see if it does work a little bit better because it does have a little bit more power to it. So I am pretty excited to see how well this ends up working out for me. I am using the same setup as the last time. Just I am sitting in my corner and facing into it and just having everything kind of in behind. I don't have any kids today, so I'm not worried about anyone walking in behind on me into the stream. I'm also trying to down a little bit of water because I think I'm a little dehydrated because I seem to have a pretty sizable knot in my neck and shoulder right at the moment, and it doesn't feel super good. I went to bed with quite a splitting headache, and I woke up with a fairly decent headache as well. Mm, pardon me. So I'm just trying to get a little get a little bit of extra water into me here as well to make sure I can stay somewhat hydrated and hopefully thinking a little clearer. But we'll see. It's just yeah, the headache definitely doesn't help the clarity of the thinking, and then to be able to get up to the school later, as my youngest son has another tour of the, and they're actually doing it in really a cool way this time around. Last time was kind of a meet and greet for all the teachers and CEAs, and this time around it's going to be a scavenger hunt style. So what they're going to do is they're actually going to set up things for him to go and find through the school, and then me and his mom will end up going up and just helping him try to find all the different things that are in the school for him to locate and be able to find his classrooms and everything a lot better as well. Or at least that's the hope, anyhow. That's the plan. So, um, and yeah, that's a little bit later today. So we will see how all that ends up going out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've never done a scavenger hunt like this for a school to kind of be able to find more of the classrooms and more of the teachers and everything as well. I think it'll be a really fun day. It shouldn't last too long, maybe like an hour or two at the most, I'm thinking. And they picked today just because there's not going to be a lot of kids at the school. Um, Still due to the pandemic, there's not a lot of kids going back just because there's only like like a week and a half left, 2 weeks left roughly. So sorry, I'm looking up at my calendar here. So they've decided not. So a lot of parents like myself and my ex-wife have decided not to send the kids back for this time. We've decided that we would just keep them home and then just do school type work with them. So my oldest goes on to Microsoft Teams and finds his course load that he needs to do. And then we try to do it. We try to find the assignments and then try to complete some of the assignments. Plus, he's also got Google Classroom to go to, and they've hooked him up with a bunch of different spots to go to online to do different things as well. Like there's a math website, I think it's called IXL, which will help him keep up to date with everything in his math. And then they have some reading stuff as well. Plus, we can do things with Khan Academy as well. And I keep saying it, but we are eventually going to do stuff for his video game program that we actually enjoyed quite a bit doing. And I noticed that in his school that he is in, that little brother's going into, is they have the Scratch programming books there as well that are a little bit more advanced. So we're going to start off with the simple one that I do have at the moment for him and see if we can just kind of relearn a lot of it. And then we're going to then I'll see about trying to get some of the more advanced books. I didn't realize there was more advanced books to do the programming on it, which will be pretty cool. That's better. So we will try to find those as well for them. There we go. And I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit because last time we did do stuff like that, he did enjoy it quite a bit. So I think being able to get back into the programming aspect of everything will be a lot of fun for him again as well. So we're going to get him back into that and see how well that works for him this time around. I know it's something that him and I have talked about off and on for a little bit, so I think it'll be something that he will definitely enjoy. So we will get back on to doing a little bit more of that. And that way he keeps kind of, it's almost like his robot programming class that he has, or his robotics class that he has at school as well, which the school decided to put him into this previous year because it was either that or band. And they were like, well, we don't think he's going to like band. And I'm like, I don't think he's going to like band either. If he's anything like me, I did not like band, and once I could get out of band, I was out of band because it was definitely not something I wanted to do. And he is definitely a lot more like me in that kind of aspect. He does like music, but he doesn't want to do music. I'm maybe a little bit different. I like music, and I would love to be able to play an instrument, but I'm not that savvy with instruments, so I just don't I don't do that because I'm just not very good at it. I'm sure if I practice I'd probably be fine with it, but it's taking the time to practice and do it all, and most days I typically don't have a lot of that kind of time, so I just don't bother with it. And it wasn't something I really enjoyed doing. Maybe if I had maybe a different instrument it might have helped, but I don't know. And I just don't feel like, well, actually I kind of want to learn the bass guitar, but I don't feel like going to go learn what guitar to do and all that other fun stuff. So I just haven't. Maybe at some point I will, just as another creative aspect. We will see. But right now it's not something that I am looking at doing. And he just has no interest in learning anything musically. Like I said, he likes listening to music, but he doesn't want to do anything musically. I'm not going to force him to. He really enjoys his robotics class, and that's what he's taking. And he's also taking a couple other classes with his best friend that he's signed up for. I think top of their list. So Aid Weasel had Aid Man had robotics, and then I think he had woodworking was his next one, which I'm not too surprised by. And I think cooking was the next one after that, which I'm a little surprised by, but not too much. It is something that he does need to learn, so I'm glad that he did choose that as an alternative and a life skills course that he wanted to take. And I even told him, like, when I took cooking in school, it was one of the better courses that I had taken, just because I had ended up learning how to make a lot of different things as well, and it definitely helped out quite a bit more with life. So I learned how to cook chicken properly. I learned how to can, which I haven't canned since, unfortunately, and it's something I should really probably just go over to my mom's and relearn, because she does do quite a bit of canning, and it's something that I should be doing a lot more, is creating more preserves, so we have that extra kind of stuff just sitting around or kicking around in the house for when we do want it, like jams and pickles and stuff like that, the stuff that my kids seem to really enjoy quite a bit more. And it would be something I could do with them as well, at least my oldest anyhow. My youngest probably wouldn't take too much of an interest in it, but you never know until you try, so it might be something I would try to get him into as well. As a side note, speaking of, we also did eventually paint these birdhouses, which if you go to Instagram and check me out there, you can actually see the birdhouses that we did finally paint. Now I just got to get some hooks, which I'll probably do after the school scavenger hunt, and get some bird seed, and we can hang them up outside on our fence posts and have birds finally come and eat some bird seed in our yard, which would be pretty fun because I think the kids will. Well, my youngest will definitely get a kick out of it. My oldest will be like, "Oh, look, there's birds," and then my youngest will be like, "Oh," and then he'll sit in the window and check it out probably the entire time, which would be a lot of fun. So we'll try and do something about that or with that. And it's been actually other than the fact that we had a tremendous amount of rain yesterday, which was not too unexpected, just later in the day than I was expecting. We've had a pretty good week. That storm was pretty nasty. It was rolled in. We had a little bit of thunder and lightning, and then that died out pretty quickly, and then it just poured rain for about a good 10 minutes, which is not going to do a lot for our well, actually, it's going to do a huge amount for the water level. It's going to bring the water level up a lot more. I was talking to one guy who has his house down by the lake here, and he was saying that he was thinking that the water was starting to recede because it had kind of lowered down in the last couple of hours. And that was about 8:30 on Sunday in the evening, and he figured it was going down finally because the water he figured it had kind of receded a little bit after a bunch of rain that we did have, and it definitely hasn't. It's come up a lot more, and it's coming up more and more and more. About 8 years ago, it was so high up that there's a road going to all the houses on the lake, just on the other side of the train tracks, and you could get onto the road to get to the other houses, but you couldn't go to the boat launch at all. They had actually barricaded it all off with sandbags and stuff to try and keep the water back. I actually have a picture of it somewhere, I think, on my Instagram from June or July in 2012, and it really shows how high the water came up. You'd actually have to go over 3 feet deep and about 20 feet in to be able to get, or maybe a little bit more than 20 feet, but basically you have to wade through the lake to get to the boat launch in my area here in the dock. So it got pretty deep and it got pretty high up. And then I have pictures of, at the same time, I went down to the beach and took pictures from the entrance, and there's water in the entrance. You can see the backhoe that's sitting there trying to, that they were doing some work with. So they kind of blocked it off on two ends. They put a gate up, and then they put machinery in behind. You can see the water underneath the machinery and in the entrance. So the water got up pretty high there. That happened a couple years ago as well, about 3-4 years ago now. The water got super high, and then you couldn't get, they ended up closing down the beach because of it, because it got so high there wasn't much beach left. There was no sand for the beach, for one, and it came up on, and it started covering up the entire grass area as well. So they stopped. They basically just didn't want people going to the beach and getting hurt or anything because the water got so high. And then they had to slow boats down on the lake as well, so they wouldn't get, so the water wouldn't erode the lake shore, just from the lakes, because we have a lot of tourist boating here in the summertime. So it gets pretty crazy out on the lake here. So it's quite a bit of, it's pretty interesting to see a lot of it. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how high it gets this year, because down by the wharf in the main part of town, which we have one of the largest wharfs in North America, in Canada anyway, one of the largest freshwater wharfs, and they actually marked the water levels on it for the last couple of years. So they had 2019s, which was pretty low. I was a little surprised at how low it was, and then they had 2017s, which almost crested over the rocks that they have there to try and keep the waves from going over top and then receding back into the water. So they actually had marked it off in the 2017. So I'm going to go down there today or tomorrow anyway, and take a look to see where the water mark is now. I'm pretty sure it should be about the 2017 level now, if not higher. So I guess it was only 3 years ago. No, it had to be. I feel like it should be longer than that, but Yeah, I can't remember how high up it ended up actually. Maybe 2007. Yeah, I can't remember how long ago it was. Maybe it was 2017. Maybe it had to have been. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, not too big of a deal as the exact time frame on it. So I just know it was a few years ago and that the water got pretty high and ended up closing the beach down. And then they ended up marking it off as well, which is pretty cool that they mark it off and they actually have some kind of cool little markers just to show where the water ended up being. So I thought that was pretty neat and interesting as well. They've actually done quite a bit of prep around our wharf area there for the summertime this year, just because they were anticipating hopefully everything opening up and a lot of restrictions being eased off, just so that way they can get back out. People can get back out on the lake and get traveling around. So they actually have done quite a bit of preparation down there. I don't think the ice cream shop though is going to be open, which is too bad because they have some pretty killer ice cream down that way. So it's just kind of. You'll take a look at the water. That's the other thing we're not going to be able to do right at the moment, not for another couple months, just because the water is so high. We have a nice, lovely bird sanctuary that runs probably a good 5 kilometers along the lake shore, and the water is so high right now that we're not going to be able to get very far onto. You probably get 3/4 of a kilometer before you're not able to go any further because the water will be so high. It should be up almost to the train tracks in about, for sure, 2 different areas. So if you go on from either end, because it does exit on another side, you can only go about a kilometer maybe at the very most on each side before you're completely stopped, just because the water level is so drastically high, which kind of sucks because it's a nice little area to walk down. I think that also means the boardwalks that they have for the bird watching will be shut too, just because of the water will probably be cresting over those as well. And I don't think they climb up onto anything either. So it's just kind of the way it ends up working out, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see how that all kind of ends up panning out as well. Yeah, I don't think we'll be down there until the end of July now, just because of the water level being so high. But
morning, how you doing?
Morning.
Yeah,
not
how
about
bad,
yourself? Oh, why is my arm all of a sudden?
Not bad.
That is really weird.
What's up?
For some reason, my audio isn't working. That is bizarre. I've had this problem before. I'm not sure why my audio never seems to work on here. It's really odd.
I can hear you.
Yeah, everyone says it sounds fine on their end, but I can never hear anything on my end, and I never know why. It's really bizarre. Oh, I think I know why. Actually, I know exactly why. Oh. If my computer will cooperate with me, I know what's going on there. I think that should do it. Maybe. Yeah, I think I said the wrong speakers on. I think that may do it. I'm not too sure now. All right. Yeah, actually, I was just actually heading off because I got things to get done this morning. So I thank you for joining me, though. I usually start about 6 o'clock, so I'm usually heading out about this point. So, just want to thank everyone for coming on today and just kind of hanging out with me. I really enjoy it. Forward to talking to you in the morning as well. You as well, Luke. You have some fun yourself there also. And if you're around tomorrow, I am back on again. Today I was kind of happy. I was only a couple minutes late, so just because I had to get my coffee brewed up, and I just had a couple small, and I was just running behind, in all honesty. So I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow morning, and I hope you're able to come by again. This has been Rob signing off this morning with Morning Coffee with Rob. I hope you all have a great day, great afternoon, great evening, or great night, wherever you all happen to be. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow morning. Have a great one. See you later.